All right, we have this rescheduling rumor that is swirling around, and it is stemming from this here. We have a White House advisor. Trump advisor says the White House is close to rescheduling cannabis. They have a plan, people. Now, this would not mean decriminalization, okay? They're speaking on a condition of anonymity, and it is not, the rescheduling plan has not been finalized. It's waiting for a specific event before it's being made public. I don't know. But here's what rescheduling is going to mean. This doesn't mean decriminalization. Rescheduling, Schedule 3, would deliver real effects even though it wouldn't legalize cannabis. It would allow FDA-approved cannabis medicines to be prescribed nationwide. And it would lift the harsh tax burden on state legal cannabis businesses by removing the long-standing Section 280E prohibition on deducting ordinary business expenses, letting growers, retailers, and producers deduct costs like rent, payroll, and utilities just like any other legal business. It would make it easier, far easier, for researchers to study cannabis. Federal barriers that now limit medical license studies, licensing, and access to quality cannabis for research that would drop significantly. And it wouldn't automatically legalize marijuana nationwide to make interstate commerce lawful. It would signal that the government officially recognizes cannabis medical potential. But see, as far as the stock stuff goes, so this doesn't mean that people can use their credit cards at a dispensary yet. I think that's going to be a big to-do when that can happen. But letting growers, retailers, and producers deduct costs like rent, payroll, and utilities, that would certainly, I assume, create value for shareholders for the cannabis stocks. But anyways, if we were going to look, all right, wait, I had asked too let's see what Grok is saying, because as far as 2025 is concerned, people, nothing against cannabis in 2025, but full decriminalization, removing cannabis from this Controlled Substance Act entirely, remains unlikely in the near term. Instead, the focus is on rescheduling from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, which would acknowledge its medical uses and reduce some restrictions without fully legalize it federally. This aligns with Trump's campaign promises to support states' rights. Okay, very nice. And medical research. And we know that if Kennedy likes psychedelics, there's no way Kennedy doesn't like cannabis. And they kind of hate Big Pharma. Well, they're always messing with Big Pharma, kind of, telling them to lower their prices and whatnot. So, because we know Big Pharma doesn't like cannabis. But anyways, Trump publicly stated his administration, that was August. And we did see, wait a minute, if we look, this is going to be an ETF TOKE that I was looking at. This TOKE has wait, what was it in August? Where's August? Yeah, see, they were riding high in August because that's when Trumperton started to say all this stuff. And then, down. But people, I think TOKE is a nice one because, like I said, you got a 3.26% dividend. Why wouldn't you? Like, really? And then this VFF, that's the one I like the most, actually. If I'm being honest, that's the American one in Florida. I'll show you their gains. So you're holding 12.7% of VFF with a 3.7% dividend. Normally people are like, oh, an ETF or whatever, you don't get as big gains. But with something like cannabis, where if we can get in at a low point and then ride it all the way up to whatever it's going to do, I think that is a nice ride. I don't know. That's just me. I would almost say TOKE is my play that I would like to get into. I think on Monday, if I'm being honest. I think I like it. I think that would be a nice play. But anyways, if we went back here. The DA's ruling initiated under Biden is going with testimony concluding March 25th and a possible rule by late 2025. Trump's team has signaled it may continue this despite mixed signals from nominees like DA head Terrence. I don't know. And Pam is anti-reform. Come on, Pam. Don't be like that. 88% of Americans favor legalization, but we know that does not matter, like, literally at all. If anything, I would say that makes it worse. But anyways, challenges include a stalled congressional bill, MORE Act, which would fully decriminalize, and opposition from conservative factions. Is cannabis discussed? No. Specifically not in Project 2025, Heritage's Foundation Conservative Policy Blueprint for a potential Republican administration. The document emphasizes stricter enforcement against illegal drugs and a war on drugs, but omits marijuana policy details, treating it as a low priority issue. You could say that's good. And another thing, dude, taxes. Look at all the money they're spending. They need tax money. And the states are going to start showing how their tax money from cannabis is bringing in the dollars. And I think that is going to be something that Scott Bisson will also like. Assigning a precise percentage inherently speculative. Analysis and polling's a 35% likelihood for full decriminalization by the end of Trump's term. I don't know, people. High odds, rescheduling by mid-2026. Lower odds, descheduling. Oh, man, oh, man. And then, I wanted to know what it is. The federal decriminalization or rescheduling would likely enable major credit cards to lift bans on cannabis. Oh, wait a minute. It could. This actually could. The rescheduling could also do that. That's what I really think would be the biggest boom when they are allowed to use credit cards at dispensaries. That's what we're looking for. I don't know if it would end up being state by state or all the states at once would be able to say, okay, never mind where you're doing this, but I don't know. Because see, current dispensaries are cash only or use high-risk workarounds, cashless ATMs with 3% fees, limiting sales and exposing them to robbery risks. That's not good. And here, ones like, we'll do these ones, MSOS, Coral Leaf, True Leaf, Green Thumb. Green Thumbs, I think, is at GTBIF. Is that it? Wait. Yeah, and they obviously... Green Thumb's down for the year, which is a good time, you could say. How high do they go? They go up to 816. So they're definitely on a down. I don't know. That could be a nice one. A nice over-the-counter maybe. Yeah. And then they would see gains for sure, long term. And then higher foot traffic, convenience lifts it. So we would hope that maybe if they do reschedule, that is something that I want to look at. Other things it could do, unlock systemic advantages, potentially valuing in the U.S. cannabis market at $50 billion by 2027. People, when we talk growth stocks, well, obviously speculative growth stocks. Cannabis is definitely on my list of speculative growth stocks. You could have cannabis, nuclear, eVTOLs, autonomous trucks, and then biotechs, because biotechs are always some of them revolutionary biotechs, and human site. But anyways, and cash only era allows loans, deposits, and insurance, reduces enforcement costs, removes IRS tax ruling, not net income, could save $2.3 billion. Enables cross-state sales, branding, big players. Cooler Leaf, scale nationally. Which one's Cooler Leaf? This here, Cooler Leaf. I don't say it right, but they're on somewhat of an up here. So that would be another one you could think about. CURLF. Curl. And I guess when they'll be called Curl when they're uplisted. And also you could say uplisting potential for all these is definitely there as well. But they can always go lower. These cannabis stocks, anything can happen because then they could come out and say, never mind, we hate it all and we're not going to do it. And then obviously you have a lot of stagnation and highs and lows. As you can see, that was that August high. And now the August high has plummeted. Well, not plummeted, but these guys, TCNF, they were sitting right, they hit 9 at their highs. So that is something to keep in mind. They're another one. But like I had said before, what was I saying? Oh yeah, mine, ones I like. I like VFF. And if you look at VFF's financials here, obviously no dividend, but holding it in that other one would be interesting. Village Farm launches Promenade brand's first vape in Quebec. Wait a minute. Let me check this here. They are American. Yes, they're in Maryville, Florida. Okay, wait. And then their financials, I would say, are not bad. Wait, they're not in too much debt at all. Income statement. There you have it. So I would say VFF, I like it a lot, but I would rather go into that ETF holding them, I think. I don't know. And then your other Canadian ones. Wait, what is CGC? Is this one a Canadian? This one's going to be Cannabis Growth. They're a Canadian one. They're also on an Uber down. But that one, and then you'd have your other suspects there. Tilray disappoints people. Well, I don't know what we think about it. But Tilray is on an epic low on account of they're doing a reverse split, a 1-for-10 reverse split. So if you were sitting on 1,000 shares of Tilray, then come after their split, you're going to have 100. But yeah, Tilray, they had a big loss on that one. They were probably acquiring things, but not sitting on too much of a loss their last earnings. And I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with this reverse split. They got these buy ratings, but now I don't know what's going to happen, what they're going to end up like. But I could say that Tilray has the opportunity. It didn't do well with the hemp stuff for Tilray, but Tilray can definitely pivot away from just hemp. Well, they can pivot away from hemp. They're doing other things. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. And you got the SNLD. They are also on a down. They ended up getting all the way up there. I'm not holding SNLD now. What is their cannabis, or Canadian cannabis? S&D Renewal Share Repurchase Program. Let's see what their income looks like there. Not bad at all. So, you could say SNDL is another one that has some opportunity. Because then you also have this one, MSOS, but this is not dividend one, but people do like this one. And wait, you also want to be looking at the ones in the medical. So 0% dividend on that one. Wait a minute. When this says top holdings, that's a little weird. I don't know what they're trying to do with that one. As of top holdings at design, I don't know. Wait a minute. Trade war. So that's MSOS, but like I said, I like the TOKE one better. And then we have this. See, this must be wrong. Exclusive focus on U.S. multi-state operators like the Curaleaf and Trulieve. So this must not be putting it in. You know why? Probably because this doesn't show you the over-the-counter ones. Bonds, cash, uncategorized holdings. That's probably what they're saying. VFF and SNDL are the ones that are listed on public, but people like that MSOS one. And you have MJ. Actively managed global exposure to cannabis. Let's see what this one looks like. I think I'm liking the other one. I've looked at these all before too, I believe. Down low, on a down, people. Always wait. That one has a 1.115% dividend. You got the Tilrays. Kronos is another one. Canopy Growth, OG, Hitty. People like that one. ACB. And then I like this guy there. So this one's holding another ETF, which I don't know. I guess to each their own. What would CNBS be then? CNBS. That one is Amplify. Oh, Maps. That's one where it's like doing something with tech and finding growers and stuff. I don't know how much that will be, honestly. Innovative industrial properties. That's for like Grow One, and then this one's for growing stuff. Oh, HYFM. Hydro farming. I've always been looking at that one. HYFM. Because that one, ooh, they're definitely on a down. Oh, they look like shit. What are these guys? This one engages in the controlled environment for agriculture. To be honest, I think this company could do something even without the cannabis stuff, but they're on a real low. I am glad I waited a while to get into this one. I don't know if I want to, though. I don't know. Reports lost, misses revenue estimate. What are they looking like here? Yeah, I guess wait a little while. They're still, I don't know. It could also depend, but they're not technically a growing type company. They're lighting, atmospheric control, hydroponics, nutrients, additives, growing media, plant care, and pest disease. So this one, work in progress, or you could say we will continue to watch this one, which, oh wait, I don't know if I have them on my thing. Oh yeah, I do. But anyways, so those would be news with cannabis. I do think, I don't know about decriminalization, people, but the rescheduling will definitely help some of our cannabis companies. And with the focus on medical, those would be your over-the-counter ones. They're largest U.S. MSO with medical operations, GTBIF, and this one, GRULF, a Florida-based leader in medical-only markets. What is OTCQX? Let's see what that one looks like now. OTCQX. Oops, I didn't put it right. Wait a minute, that's not it. It's this one, the TCNNF one. When we already went over that one, so they didn't have the right ticker, and I put in the wrong one. Anyways, these would be some cannabis stocks, people. But if I was personally going to say, I think myself, I want to get into the TOKE ETF with the dividend and the largest holding being VFFF. I would like that one. But all these over-the-counter ones are certainly, the fact they're kind of on downs, and all this news could be coming out. But remember, well, rumor. All of this news is technically a rumor on someone anonymous person. But I do think that cannabis will be something that starts to be eased up on, even more so in the Trump administration, because I think they're going to want to tax it. That would be the end goal there, in my opinion. I don't know. We'll see.